Well, hey there, everybody. I got a question for you. Do you want to be happy in life? Of course, we all do. No one likes to be sad. Everybody would prefer to be happy and joyful. And sometimes the world tells us that whatever we can do can make us happy. You know, through our own efforts, through the money that we have, the things that we acquire, the friends that we have, we can find true happiness. But the Bible tells us something completely different. The Bible doesn't tell us that we're to be sad all the time. As a matter of fact, that our joy is found in Jesus. You see, God has a plan, and God's plan is even better than ours or what the world could create. You see, God has a great plan, and it involves you. And you're going to discover that that plan is for you to know Jesus. And that's the source of true happiness. Check this out.
So what's the plan?
Let's get to the lookout and look at the clue. It looks like the first clue of where we're supposed to go is a riddle. Is anybody good at riddles?
We all know who's really good at riddles, don't we?
Lily.
Just read it, Shiloh.
Okay. I'm not a path you're told to walk. Not a style, not the way you talk. Some may ignore me, some may guess, but I'm always there when life's a mess. Who am I? Do you know? Look for me where the tall things grow.
Where do the tall things grow?
Lily, does that make any sense to you?
The forest. Where Bigfoot lives?
That's amazing! It must be talking about Ecola Park. Let's do a gear check before we head over. What supplies did you pack? Headlamps, compass, parchment,
Bubblegum.
Bible.
Bible? Why would you need that to go to the forest?
The riddle said I'm always there when life's a mess. To me, that's the Bible. God's plan is the best, so I like to keep it with me.
That's a little weird.
Any word in the baseball card you got clipped to the back of your bike wheel all the time.
That card is destined for big things one day. It's a national treasure.
Okay. Are you both ready for this?
Totally. Let's get this party started.
I've never seen this sign before. Have you guys?
No, I haven't. It's like it just appeared out of nowhere.
It must be part of the riddle. We probably have to choose which direction to go.
But which way leads us to the treasure?
You should always follow your heart. It will never steer you wrong. And my heart knows that this path leads to a big pile of sour worms.
I don't think that's right, Jack. Proverbs 3:5-6 says, trust in the Lord with all your heart and do not rely on your own understanding. In all your ways know him, and he will make your path straight.
So you can't always trust your heart to tell you what's right? You have to trust God?
Yep, his plan is always best.
Well then, we need to choose a narrow way instead.
Yeah, sure. What could go wrong?
I wish you hadn't said that.
Hey, I thought you said you were the brave one. I guess I'll have to lead the way.
You just want to be first in case the treasure really is sour worms.
You know it. Race, y'all.
Daniel, his family and friends lived in Jerusalem where King Nebuchadnezzar from Babylon attacked their city. The king was not a follower of the one true God, but God allowed the king to conquer Jerusalem. The king removed several costly items from the temple of God and took them back to Babylon to the temple of his false god. The king ordered one of his chief officials to bring back some of the young men from Jerusalem. He wanted strong young men who knew a lot and could be easily taught. These men were meant to later serve in the king's palace. The king ordered that the young men should be served the same food and drink as the king. The men would be trained for 3 years and would then work for the king. 4 of the young men taken from Jerusalem were Daniel, Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah. When Daniel heard that they were to eat from the king's food, Daniel asked the chief official to serve him and his friends only vegetables and water. Some people might think it was because Daniel knew this food would be healthier for them, but it's so much more than that. At this time, there were certain foods that God had commanded his people not to eat. When Daniel discovered that the king's food was against God's plan, he decided to obey God instead. The chief official was worried that if Daniel and his friends didn't look as good as the other men who ate the king's food, the king would be angry. He was afraid for his life. So Daniel asked the guard to let them eat only vegetables and drink water for 10 days. After that time, the guard would decide if they could continue. After 10 days, the guard discovered that Daniel and his friends were healthier and stronger than all the other men who had been eating the king's food. So the guard allowed the 4 friends to continue with the food they had requested, the food that followed God's plan for them. After the 3-year period that the king had ordered for training and teaching the captives, he found that Daniel and his friends were the best of all. Because the friends chose to follow God's plan, God gave them knowledge and understanding. Daniel was even able to understand visions and dreams. None of the other men could compare with them. Because of this, the 4 friends became attendants to the king. The king found the 4 friends even wiser than the other men who had been working for him.
This world tells you you can have it all, but I can tell you they are thinking small, 'cause they don't know the life that Jesus gives. But when you have it, it's the only way to live. God's plan is even better. God's plan is even better. Even better than whatever you have in mind. God's plan is even better. God's plan is even better. God's plan is even better. Even better than the best you'll ever find. God's plan is even better. So trust the Lord in everything you do. In all your ways, let His truth be guiding you. God's plan is even better. God's plan is even better. Even better than whatever you have in mind. God's plan is even better. God's plan is even better. God's plan is even better. Even better than the best you'll ever find. God's plan is even better. Even better than whatever you have in mind. God's plan is even better. Even better than the best you'll ever find. God's plan is even better.
Osaka is an exciting place to live. It's full of bright lights, modern buildings, technology, and lots of fun things to do. This is takoyaki. It's a Japanese snack often filled with octopus and deep fried. They sell them on the streets of Osaka, and it's delicious.
Or as we say in Japan, oishii.
The Japanese love to have fun and play games. They really love video games. I mean, who doesn't? So the Flemings had an idea to host game parties. They invite a bunch of people over to their office to play games and eat food that we would eat in America. Osakans love food and they're interested in what Americans eat.
Tonight we're making tacos. Oishii!
The game parties are a big hit. They are a lot of fun, and people keep coming back and inviting their friends. While some people are waiting to play games like Mario Kart, it's a great opportunity for the Flemings to get to know them better. It's really important that they can become friends with Japanese people, so they'll trust them and listen to what they have to say about Jesus. Oftentimes, you hear people say, "Do what makes you happy." They usually aren't talking about video games, but how they live their life. The Bible says, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and do not rely on your own understanding. In all your ways, know Him, and He will make your paths straight." Proverbs 3, verse 5 through 6. Are you following God's plan for your life? Or doing whatever makes you happy?
I believe God's plan is the best and brings true happiness. And living my life focused on His plan and what He wants for me is how I win.
Take a walk along the coast, sand beneath your toes. Take it all in, come on, let's go. Break a rock beach, see the tall, majestic pines, endless shorelines. Never know what you're gonna find. Break a rock beach. There is a rock that stands the test of time, where the wind and waters rise, and waves are always breaking. There is a rock where we can build our lives. His name is Jesus Christ, and we will not be shaken at Break a Rock Beach. Yeah, yeah. When you're tempted and you're tried by the storms of life, there's a place that you can hide. Break a rock beach in a world of shifting sand. On Christ we stand, He's the only perfect plan. Break a rock beach. There is a rock that stands the test of time, where the wind and waters rise, and waves are always breaking. There is a rock where we can build our lives. His name is Jesus Christ, and we will not be shaken at Break a Rock Beach. Do not